So being in Krishnanandini Prabhu's association was always a spiritually empowering experience. We know that. What guiding spiritual principles would you say she emphasized to model vibrant Grihastha communities?
Very well. So thank you so much, Archana and Karnam Prabhu. Thank you so very much for sharing about the poop. So as we know, Krishnanandini was a very principle-centered person. Ever since I met her, which was in the early 80s, my experience with her was always one of someone that was dedicated to helping others to understand a principle-centered life. And so one of the principles that really it has inspired me and encouraged me watching her live this is actually there are two. These principles of giving back and also appreciating others when they give. So she was very much dedicated to bringing forward in the Grihastha ashram. Although we know that this is a part of our spiritual culture, yet she herself spent so much time emphasizing this aspect of our culture. So there's a quote from Krishnanandini herself that I'd like to share with everyone. And that says, as Grihasthas, we have a unique opportunity to teach by the way we live and to create, join, or support spiritual communities. Carrying out our daily duties, including our morning program and service to the deity, caring for our families in loving ways, supporting the other ashrams, giving regularly in charity, and being an asset in our communities. Grihasthas can reflect practical, God-centered life and attract others to do the same. So this is the mood of Krishnanandini, and she's left this for us as a part of her legacy of how to live principle-centered Grihastha life. One of the things that as Grihasthas I know that we sometimes have difficulties with is this 50% paradigm. So we're told in our sastras that, you know, we as Grihasthas, we're kind of expected to give 50%. However, we know that in the Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami, you know, he teaches us that we need to understand the essence of these spiritual instructions. And so the essence of this instruction is really not necessarily to think so much about the percentage of what we're giving. It's more to think about how we're going to imbibe this principle of giving. And so again, I want to reflect and share some things that Krishnanandini shared with us. At least myself, I have heard her say this many times, and I do think that she has shared this. It's, you know, in the book for the sorry.
No, Heart Soul Connection.
Okay, Ekavirya Prabhu has given me the name of the book. Thank you. Heart and Soul Connection. Yes. And so I believe this is in that book. You can find this these purposes of why Grihasthas need to be able to give in spiritual communities. Why? Why is it that is an expectation spiritually for us to make spiritual advancement? And here again, Krishnanandini, she states that she gives us 4 purposes. And she says, 1, everything belongs to Krishna. We really don't own anything. So therefore, when we give, we're simply giving back to Krishna. And so this, and for Grihasthas, you know, because we often engage in working in material world, and we're taking care of families, extended families, this is such an important principle to remember that whatever we get, we need to give. Whatever we get, if we give it back, then Krishna, we're actually giving back to Krishna. Another one that she says is that giving is a way to show love. So we know, again, Rupa Goswami, he speaks about this, offering gifts, prasadam, money, time, and talents. And this is the one that really, really attracted me so much to Krishnanandini, because she, not only was she just so versatile and just so generous in giving up herself to Grihasthas, she was actually really creative She was such a creative person, and she loved to sing. She wrote poems, she sang. And so one of the ways that she gave of herself, she gave of her talents. And I often remember that she would come to Vyasa Pujas here in Gita Nagari, and she would always sing. She would sing some song from somewhere 20, 30 years ago that we all forgot. And she would bring that and make that into like a Krishna conscious tune and offer that with so much love. And everybody in the community would be so excited because Krishnanandini was bringing this creative talent. So when we think about giving, it's not just to give our money. Yes, that's wonderful. However, it's about giving ourselves in terms of the gifts that Krishna has given to us. Also, another one that she shares with us is that giving charity is a sacrifice that purifies our wealth. And so we all know that we can have so much money, but here now we have what, this pandemic, and at any time, any one of us could be affected, any one of us, and it does not, and we could die. Any one of us could die. So whatever amount of money, whatever amount of wealth we may have, if we haven't purified that wealth by utilizing it in some way to understand that it belongs to Krishna, then it's just going to possibly go to medical bills. If not medical bills, it'll go to some kind of, debt, some other ways that that money will be taken from us. So this was a principle she really, really imbibed. And then the last one, she says, even a little, even just a little, given in the service of Krishna and the devotees, rewards the giver hundreds and thousands of times. Just imagine, just to be able to give in our communities, which is so much needed. Right now, Grihasthas are having so much difficulties. How are we able to call someone and say, hey, how are you doing? What may you need? Can I help you in some way? And so the idea here is to begin some way to consistently give, some way, maybe a percentage, maybe not, something, just to support the mission of Krishna consciousness in some way, support families in some way. And so lastly, Krishnanandini, she says, this is another quote, when the Lord sees our steady commitment to giving in charity, He will give us intelligence and facilities to do so from within and from without. And so spiritual life is a culture of giving. Krishnanandini, Mataji, Prabhu, we love you so much. Thank you very much. Haribol. Haribol.
So Vraja Lila, she spoke about Mother Krishnanandini's mood of giving, and she was a prime example of this mood of giving. And Vraja Lila spoke primarily about giving in charity. And giving in charity can act as a catalyst to encourage us to give in all other facets of our life. And Krishnanandini, she was an example, not only in giving in charity, but giving of herself. She gave of herself as an example of a loving and supportive wife to Tariq Prabhu. She gave of herself as a loving mother to 10 children. It's like a modern day female Bhaktivinoda Thakur. She gave of herself as a community leader and inspiring those in the interfaith community in Cleveland and establishing the Cleveland Namhata. She gave of herself in that way. She gave of herself to serving Srila Prabhupada's mission, ISKCON, and in general, and in particular, the Grihastha Vision team. And so she left very big shoes to actually fill, very difficult to fill. However, she gave practical ways and examples, and all of our Vaishnavacharyas give us ways, especially Srila Prabhupada, in which we can actually try to please those who have come before us and have provided such an example like Krishnanandini. And we talked about giving in charity as one practical example. Another practical example is to give our appreciation. This is something that we all can actually do. As we're struggling, we talked about the 10% giving and the 50% principle that Rupa Goswami actually, recommended in our giving of charity. Sometimes we find that to be difficult. However, we can always give appreciation. We can give appreciation to those in our inner circle, family members, friends, community, even the person that we meet on the street or in the store. When we're in the grocery line and we're purchasing groceries and we see this person, especially during this pandemic time, working with this mask and they're there all day long, covered, it's hard for them to breathe, we can express some appreciation. Hey, I really appreciate the fact that you're here. You don't have to be here. I really appreciate the fact that you're processing my groceries very quickly because, I need to get back to work and I'm really thankful for that. Thank you for being here. And so we can develop this culture of appreciation. This is one of the things that Krishnanandini actually exemplified. And so in our household, we have 3 different ways that we can express appreciation in our household. We, daily we give hugs, and it's fun. We see each other. We have different rooms. We come out and we see each other and say, "Oxytocin, please," and give each other a hug. And so physically, we can express appreciation. Mentally, we can express appreciation by, looking at some of the qualities or some of the actions in which our spouses or our family members engage in. We can say, I really appreciate how you, have that desire to give in charity. And then we can take it another level and express what it does for us. I appreciate how you give in charity, and it inspires me to also want to serve the devotees. And so that's mental appreciation, and then spiritual appreciation. We can do all of those things and include a service, something beyond the call of duty, and offer something that our loved one actually would appreciate and just serve them in some way. And in this way, we can follow in Mother Krishnanandini's footsteps and develop the culture of appreciation in our households. And in that way, it can influence our communities and influence the world. And Srila Prabhupada would be pleased by this. And I was thinking about the last statement in the chapter of the Heart Soul Connection, which Krishnanandini, she wrote, let's see, a devotee will be flying on an airplane and will pick up an in-flight magazine and read an article about how married people would do well to follow the examples of the Hare Krishnas. And a culture of appreciation and following in Krishnanandini's footsteps would do that. Thank you for this. Krishnanandini ki jai.
Jai, Haribo.